Hello, this is Sam Gallimore, and this is the most effort I am probably ever putting into a video game ever.
You put a lot of work into the speedrun.
Yeah, this is preposterous. So for those of you who are just joining us, I've played all of these 10 levels individually, and there are individual level timings, which means you play that level by itself, don't have to worry about the rest of the game. This, on the other hand, you start from the beginning, and if you die or whatever, and go back to your previous checkpoint, the clock is still running. You do not get to restart the level, you only get to restart the whole game. So if you just hit a roadblock on level 10, oh well, you're going back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So, dying fine, and even resetting to a checkpoint fine, but you're still going to be timed while you're doing it.
But all of that time gets added together.
Oh yeah, and doing this, even though it's, nowhere close to 50 hours, is about how long it took me.
Oh goodness.
Just doing the full game was 50 hours.
Really? Did you count it all up? Or
I didn't
were you
count
keeping track as you went?
I wasn't keeping track as I went. I was just like about half. I know I put about 100 hours in. About half of that was learning the individual levels.
Uh-huh.
So it's only about, depending on the level, because it varies a lot, about 5 hours per level. But
that's a very rough, rounding. Okay.
yes, some of them are more than 10. Some of them are like 30 minutes. But if you're just starting out, Pillar of Ottoman Keys, just FYI. And Silent Cartographer 343 Guild. Anyway, moving on. Besides the point.
Okay,
all of the individual levels together, all 10 of them, took me about 50 hours. The full game, about another 50. And it's just me going, I put 100 hours into it, and I know, because it took so darn long, that about halfway through that process, I started running the full game. So, yeah.
Okay.
And specifically, most of that was getting the last, 10 minutes or so off of what is my final time.
Oh, yeah.
It occurred... After I did this, I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is bananas. I'm never putting 50 hours into something like this again.
Okay.
And I'm never putting in 50 hours in again. But I think if I put in 10 or 5,
yeah,
that I could get something that was only more in the middle of the leaderboards. I think that would be doable. This is actually 60, 70th percentile.
Okay.
So if I was gunning for 40th or 50th percentile, I think that could be a lot more doable.
And it would take you a lot less time.
Yeah, I feel like 5-10 hours, you just do it. Because the very first attempt I made after I learned the levels was 2.5 hours. And after that, my second attempt was an hour 50-something. And then my third attempt saved a couple of minutes off of that. So somewhere around 3 or 4 runs, I hit the point of diminishing returns. And
oh, yeah.
saving a couple of minutes took a ton of repetition.
Yeah.
So... So yeah, like I said, most effort in probably putting into being good at a video game.
All right.
Plenty of video games fun, but not this one.
Has doing the speedrun taken the fun out of Halo 1 for you?
No. And I like the fact that I have this ability to be preposterously good at this game.
Yeah.
There's definitely people who are better, but I'm not going to know any of them personally or even close.
Right.
So, one nice thing about having put the amount of time into it is you feel like the character way more. You're a super soldier. If you're I should have looked up the height. I mentioned this in one of the previous videos, but you're 7 foot 7'6", something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, raised to be a soldier from age 6 with all this crazy bioengineered armor. You have an AI in the back of your head helping you do stuff. You were crazy good. And when you're playing the game, you kind of get that. They do a good job of making you feel like a hero. But when you're speed running and you're plowing through guys, you're throwing these grenades that just take out everybody.
And just walking past half the people.
Yes.
Casually. And
mostly not dying. It was unfortunate timing there, but yeah.
Oh, did you die?
I did die. I lost a couple seconds. That's actually a good spot to die. You only lose a couple seconds there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, and especially later on, and you're going to see in the run, you're going to be teleporting. You're going to be doing some Superman jumps. You're going to be throwing a grenade, throwing a few grenades in rapid succession, and they all blow up at the same time and just take out all the bad guys. That's stuff that's, the character in the game would do.
Yeah?
When they do the, lore videos, and if you read the books and stuff, you're yeah, that's what the actual Master Chief would do.
Okay.
So you actually get to be a superhero, and you've put in enough hours that you feel like you've earned it. So, like, normally you're like, I picked this up. I have, like, 5 minutes of practice shooting aliens. And everyone's like, whoa, look at that guy. He's so good. Like, part of your brain goes, I don't think I've earned this. But, like, you sink in 50 hours into playing a video game, and you're like, no, I feel like I've earned the superhero title a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Makes you feel a bit more like a superhero, I guess, playing this one than the others, because you know how to do this one so well.
yeah, it was actually, I went and played Halo Infinite after I did this at some point, and, like,
Yeah.
definitely felt less like a superhero. As I'm like, I'm dying more regularly. I don't know where everything is. And, oh, first real trick here, doing a grenade jump. Whee! Skips a trigger. So now
so now there's no bad guys, right?
That is correct. There's supposed to be some bad guys and a banshee.
You also get to be outside where it's pretty. That's why I like that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did accurately predict that I would like the outside pretty parts best.
Yeah, it was a concern with these. It was like there's going to be some levels that I'm like it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but this one I feel like it was going to be pretty okay.
Yeah. It is also just, like, still, like, you're already through the first level, and it was just like, well, you're done? Oh, yeah. on to the next. Let's go.
We were still doing, like, the introductory hype talk. And I was
you're done with the first level.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, there's kind of some trick things that are going on. Like, there's distraction grenades, and there's some routing strategies.
You can look at the level-specific video for that.
Yeah, if you go back to level...
fine.
Yeah, that's just partly why I didn't bother, because I was like...
Yeah.
The part of this that is really unique to this video is the, like...
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. So, this is one of the most tense spots because this is where most runs that got out of the first level are likely to not make it.
Oh, because you have to actually take out all the bad guys?
Yeah, you have to... There's a couple of things going on. So you have to take out the bad guys, and they can be kind of scary. And if you want to do it quickly, though, you have to take them out with some specific timings. So... Once you have taken all of these guys out, your guys are going to have to start talking to you, and you're going to have to run over to another spot on the map, making sure you take out enough of them, by the way. So you have to clear them out, and you have to clear it out quickly, because that's being timed. And then you have to also be taking out your own Marines.
Because that's how you beat the level quickly.
Yep, because their dialogue will make it go a lot slower, and if you take them all, or almost all of them out, you can leave one alive, you will skip an entire dropship. It's called drop skip. So that's why I don't take that guy out, because I was like, okay.
Because he's the last one.
Yep, because I knew he was the last one. So now I have to run over here, and I have
get
to...
these guys before they...
Uh-huh.
I'm catching on.
And it's also the fact that this whole process is like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and if you mess it up at all, 2 minutes, gone.
Oh.
So...
Oh, yep. Because there's no checkpoint between when you started this whole thing and now.
Nope. And if you were really good, the fact that you're not skipping that last dropship only loses you like 30 seconds, but that last dropship is kind of scary. So I lose a minute or two to it killing me.
Oh, in this run?
It doesn't happen in this run, but if I did miss the dropship, that's the reason why I'm like, you're only skipping one dropship with all this effort, but it's a scarier dropship.
Is it the one with the most bigger bad guys?
Yep, it's got 3 of those big elite guys.
Yeah.
Yep, so that particular last ship, it's tricky you have to throw a plasma grenade and then turn around quickly and throw a frag grenade in 2 relatively specific spots to make sure you take out the guys. There are different
types of grenades?
There are, and you're going to see them here. Okay, because I'm getting in a specific spot. You're going to look at me on the ground. I line up right about there. Yep, there we go. And I'm fiddling around to get into a specific spot. Then I throw a plasma grenade, blue and shiny, up in the air.
Okay.
Looking at that spot on the wall, and I'm throwing another plasma grenade, and then that was a frag grenade, which you probably didn't see because they kind of blend in. They're not shiny or anything.
Oh. So why did you throw the grenade up?
Because it's going to hang in the air a long time, so it'll land at about the same time as I threw the second plasma grenade.
Oh.
Because the second plasma grenade was pretty horizontal, it's just going to go straight down.
Yeah.
So I know if I throw it at that spot, they'll 2 will land at the same time, and they'll detonate when I need to.
Gotcha.
At about the same time as the third grenade, by the way. So that's that 3 grenades, and they all blow up to make sure you get the guys. Because you need to take the guys out within like a half a second of them exiting the ship. Or you won't be fast enough.
Oh?
Yeah.
For what?
For skipping that dropship.
Oh. Which one did we skip?
There's one that comes over kind of to the right over there.
Uh-huh.
It would come in over there and drop off its dudes.
Okay, but it doesn't because you skipped it.
Yes.
Okay. Did you literally just jump there so that you didn't have to walk around to the beginning of the ramp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably unnecessary, but it makes me feel like I'm saving time.
Okay.
And this is not super quick. There's no trick or anything going on here. I'm just going up there to get grenades and then coming over here because I know the dropship is going to come in and get me a Warthog to drive around in.
Oh, there it is.
Yay!
With all its wheels and, overturned easiliness glory.
Yeah!
Already comes with a gunner. My goodness.
I feel like Halo vehicles flip way more than others. Yeah, the gunner being on there is kind of funny.
That is really funny.
Like, from a gameplay perspective, sure, want a gunner in there if, hypothetically, all
But,
your Marines are dead.
literally dropping the car on the ground with a gunner already in it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because you gotta figure, that dude was in there when that thing's going like 300 miles an hour or more getting here. Like, it's not a helicopter. That thing's gotta really move. And that dude's just in the back, no windshield, no nothing.
Oh, goodness. So funny.
Yeah. So now we are going to clear that jump, hopefully. Yay! I've seen like top 10 speedrunners miss that, and it's kind of funny when it happens. But
Oh, really?
yeah, you still lose 10-15 seconds. Like, not irrecoverable, but definitely painful.
Like, that's 15 seconds I could have had back.
And normally for this, there's a walk-up entrance to a control switch we're going to activate way over there to our left, now right, like way over there. But if you park the vehicle there, jump on its hood and jump up, you can avoid shooting those bad guys because they are the big elite guys.
Oh.
And save some time.
And then you kill your gunner.
Yes, I think I actually... So, there's a trick we're going to do, I think later, I think I pull it off, where you can fling yourself with the Warthog and you kind of fly through the air a little bit.
Yeah.
Your gunner can position the machine gun over your head, so when you try to fly out, you'll just hit your head and won't go flying.
Oh.
That being said, I don't land that trick most of the time, and I kind of would appreciate the firepower of the gunner, so if, heaven forbid, I ever do this again, something I'd play around with is just, what happens if I just let the dude live?
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't really know if it's hurting me that much. Because it would actually, the last area, where there's going to be for the people listening, there's going to be 3 areas we're going to go to save the Marines.
Quote.
And the last one, you have to take out all the bad guys. Having a gunner in there would probably help you take out all the bad guys quicker.
Probably, yeah.
Like, we're going to pick one up, but what if we just started with one? Like,
yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, something I could play around with. I'm not super sure I actually need to take him out because the trick
Where you're supposed to... The way that he hinders you is not necessarily...
Yeah, and it's not...
specific to you.
No, and you only lose a couple seconds with that trick. By the way, real quick, picked up frag grenades.
Okay.
Picked up a health kit. That was that white flash.
Yes, I got the thing with the big H on it.
Yep, and traded in my plasma pistol for a sniper rifle.
Wow.
Which is much more powerful.
That's
so now is the flying trick. Let's see if I do it. Yay! Not quite. Okay.
Aww.
So, yeah, see, this is why I should probably keep the gunner, because I'm not good at that trick. You should fly over both of these things.
Oh, and not have to walk.
Yeah. People who are really good can land in that doorway.
Oh, really? Okay.
Saves like 5 or 6 seconds, but it looks super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And now, we're saving the Marines.
Yep.
Because you can beat these sections one of 2 ways. You can kill all of the bad guys, wait for the dropship to come in and pick the dudes up, or you can just kill all the guys you're supposed to save and they're all dead, and then it just moves on to the next part of the mission.
Yeah.
So your success condition is actually just there are no more Marines. So that happens if you save them and they fly off in the sunset in the dropship.
Right.
Or if they're all dead.
Right.
So.
And you have no more gunner. Yeah.
So I can tell you're somewhat desensitized to the Marine killing now.
It's true. I have accepted that this is the way that speedrunners have decided that this is done, and they're just pixels on a screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Speedrunning really breaks your immersion in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, you're shooting the good guys, you're making the level end at not points they're supposed to. There's a lot of things. By the way, throwing that grenade so they start fighting because they get your Marines, which I'm shooting now, get less mad at you if you kill them while they're fighting. Kind of makes sense from a gameplay perspective.
Okay.
That like, hey, you're more likely to just accidentally shoot people in combat, so we're not going to penalize you as much for it. And we take advantage of that, because if we just straight up shot those 3 and they hadn't started fighting, then they would start shooting us, which is bad, because we're going to need them in the last section.
But didn't you just kill them? So
we killed them, but there's one more section. So,
but they talk to their buddies over in the last section?
Yes. Once one group of Marines is mad at you, all of the Marines are mad at you for the entire rest of the level.
Oh.
They have irrevocably determined that you are the bad guy. Like, hey, you shot 3 of our friends. We're not going to believe you just had a sudden change of heart. So.
Oh. And this is the one where you have to actually kill the bad guys?
Yes. So we're picking up a gunner, letting the other dude get in there, and now we're actually doing what you're supposed to.
Just kill the bad guys.
Just kill the bad guys. So we are now sniping a ton of bad guys, just taking people out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
This is one of the only parts in the game where you're actually kind of doing what's intended and just killing everything as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And there's 2 little dudes over there who are really annoying if you don't get them. So yeah, I got him through the tree.
Nice.
So I'm trying to make sure I get him, even though there's...
Rather than having to run around all the way to the other side of whatever this thing is.
Yes, because they'll run around to get to you.
Oh, goodness. Or do they go the other way?
Well, you don't know. Sometimes they'll go right. Sometimes they'll go left.
Oh,
sometimes they'll get stuck somewhere. This is why we kill them, not because they're a threat, because we don't want them to get lost. I don't trust your AI to find me quickly. I need to kill you while I know you're there, because you know that's where they spawn.
Right.
Because if you go wander around, I might lose 30 seconds trying to find you and kill you.
Oh, goodness.
Yay. Whew. So yeah, and
now you have 2 gunners in your car.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. I feel the most camaraderie of pretty much any part of the speed run right here.
Oh, yeah?
Because we're like, you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. Ugh.
You're working as a team, you're killing the bad guys and not the good guys.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Picked up more something, and they flipped the car. Okay.
Well, if you watch that back closely, you might find out that it wasn't them that flipped the car. But,
oh, was it you?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's tradition to take out your Marines at the end.
Because you've killed everyone else, you might as well.
Pretty much. So, if they do a particularly good job, I salute them and, let them walk off into the sunset.
Oh, I see.
There's our ride.
So.
Get aboard and let's get out of here.
But yeah, end of level 2. And the next one is probably...
That one was slightly less jarring because you're waiting for the ship to come.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a cooldown.
Yeah.
Whereas, and this one, you get a little bit of a warm-up because you get the intro cutscene.
Yeah. Oh, because you can't skip this one?
You cannot skip this, or people have not figured out how to yet.
Ah. I'm sure at some point someone will.
Yeah,
Between you recording this and us, watching it and recording ourselves, people came up with new tricks.
Yeah. So one of the levels, they found a new trick, which there's no way I'm doing.
Oh, yeah? So not that you would try to do it again anyway, because you already put how many hours into this?
If what I might do at some point is see if I can pull it off in 4 or 5 hours, and if I'm not, I'm bagging it.
Yeah.
Because thankfully, that level is big that you do the trick on. That's basically the only trick.
Yeah.
So if you land the trick, that's basically all you need to do.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, a little strategy thing for anyone who's wondering why I took out just the one guy and started running. People have figured out that's basically all you need to do. Oh,
really?
I'm going to get hit by all of the other things. See all the red dots on my radar?
Right.
They're going to hit me, but it's not going to be enough to kill me. And they're mostly going to stay and not follow me. Mostly.
Okay.
That guy notwithstanding.
Okay.
So yeah, even though, you can see they're still over there. There's still tons of red dots. You don't need to. You can
Are they at the top of the cliff, though?
They're also at the top of the cliff. No. They're at the bottom over there.
Oh, they're at the bottom.
Yeah, if you watch that back, you'll see there's a bunch of guys there we just ran past.
Oh.
And I missed one of my shots there, so I had to restart.
Right.
This is actually the same video from the last time we did this.
That's I thought I remembered that moment where you missed the headshot.
Because even with how having to restart there, this is still basically the cleanest I have ever played this level.
Well, I mean, you had just passed a checkpoint, right? So you lost, what, 2 seconds?
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, you're learning the strategy! If you die right before checkpoints, it kind of doesn't matter.
Or right after checkpoints.
Yeah, right after checkpoints, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right before checkpoints would suck.
Yeah.
That would really suck.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Nope, don't want to lose 2 or 3 minutes right safety is within grasp.
Yeah.
So, and here, there's a bunch of guys to my left and right. You see the red dots all over the radar?
Yeah.
People have figured out a route you can thread through those guys, pick up the camo. You will note my hand is slowly turning invisible.
Yep.
And just keep running. So you're actually avoiding, like, I don't know, 20-ish bad guys that you don't have to kill there.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And now...
Oh, and you're no longer invisible?
I am still invisible. So apparently firing your gun does not make you uninvisible. So, sniped a few people. Now we're going to quickly smack them on the ground. Because smacking people does not alert them that we're here.
Okay.
At least if you kill them in one hit, it doesn't. And we are trying to take out as many of these guys stealthily. Because it's the most consistent thing to do. Like, people who, like, top 10 people won't just, like, try to stealthy everyone. They'll come in, like, kind of guns blazing.
Oh, really?
Because that can be faster. Than, like, having to move around and physically smack everything.
Right, you have to actually walk up to every single one.
Yeah, but you're losing 5 or 10 seconds as opposed to the guarantee of...
Everyone shooting at you.
Yeah. We can make this a lot easier and only lose a couple seconds. And now, there are going to be 8 waves of guys who descend from the ship to this platform.
Is this the one where you throw grenades at it over and over?
That is the one.
Like that?
Yeah, because if you're really good, the guys spawn when exactly 2 enemies are alive. So if you know when that is,
yeah,
I believe it's exactly 2, might be 1, I think it's 2, then you can just shoot the big guy, because he takes a grenade and a shot, and the grenade will kill everyone else. So perfectly, if you're doing this really well, it's grenade, shot, grenade, shot, grenade, shot, grenade, shot, refill your grenades, keep going 8 times.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it is one of the most skill-intensive parts of the... that's exaggerating. It is not one of the most skill-intensive parts of the thing.
No, there's a lot of...
But it is rather a trickier combat thing, and it's definitely the most guys you take out in a small amount of time. Like...
Oh, really?
It's something like 50 bad guys you take out here.
Oh.
In the entire rest of the run, you only take out like 100 to 150. This level notwithstanding.
Really?
So this is a lot of combat in a little bit.
And then we got the scary spiky guys.
Yes, these are the last guys who come down, and if I was good, I'd be hitting them in the back. And if you hit that orange spot, it's 1 shot.
Yeah.
Like that. There we go.
Ah.
But if you're like me and you miss, then it takes a bunch of bullets.
Okay.
So, it's kind of funny. Again, I've seen, usually top 10 people will land that first shot. And there's a really cool thing you can do if you put a silly amount of time and luck into it, where you can fire 1 bullet as they're descending the lift and hit both of them in 1 shot, and they're dead before they hit the lift.
Really?
As they're teleporting down, you can get both of them in 1 shot.
Oh, that's so funny.
If you're one of full Robin Hood it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, but that's not really what you call full game viable. That's
true.
That's really tricky to pull off and probably partly luck based.
Yeah. I think it's been like 10 years since I read Robin Hood, but like I think my favorite moment that I like the one that's stuck in my brain is when he shot through the back of there was a bullseye, an arrow in the bullseye, and he shot through the back of the arrow to get the perfect bullseye.
Yeah.
That was my favorite Robin Hood moment.
That's a pretty good moment. It's not when he blows up a tank to teleport into the ceiling, I'm willing to bet.
No, Robin Hood doesn't do that one.
No. Which is what we're doing now. We are getting a tank down to almost no health. We're blowing it up, so its geometry intersects with ours. We teleport inside it. Then we use our being teleported inside to teleport into the ceiling, land on an invisible beam.
Yep.
Notice there's nothing under us.
Yeah,
We're going to walk across this invisible beam, which is kind of slippery, by the way, off the edge of the room here, into oblivion, switch to graphics so we can tell that we've landed actually on a hallway.
Okay.
Second hardest trick in the game. And we're not done yet. Because there's a
goodness.
bunch of holes in this ceiling. So we're jumping around to avoid landing in the holes. And there's doors opening up underneath us that we can't see. And they could knock us off or cause us to slip around.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just a flat thing that you can walk on.
No, the reason why I'm not walking on it is there's a bunch of obstacles basically I'm dodging.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So And we're still not done. There's no checkpoint up here,
Right.
usually.
Nope.
Does it give it to me this time? And now we're going to jump back inbounds. And if you do this wrong, you die.
Okay.
Now we get a checkpoint. Yay!
Checkpoint. Okay.
And just to illustrate how much the game doesn't like us up here, we get stuck in the ceiling and it teleported us randomly.
Okay. Are you now on old graphics or new graphics?
We now switch back to old graphics since we're back in bounds, and it makes it a bit easier to see the bad guys.
Oh, because the new graphics help when you're out of bounds?
Yeah, because the old graphics, a lot of the out of bounds stuff won't render. It'll only render with the new graphics.
Oh, interesting.
So a lot of that would just be blank nothing. Which,
Oh,
by
goodness.
the way...
Is that how people figured out that trick?
That is how people figured that trick out!
Is with the nothing?
Yeah, they would look, you could see the room you came from, so people are walking backwards and sideways, looking at the room, and just kind of guessing where they are.
Oh, goodness.
And they had to back up all that way. By the way, triple grenade jump right here. When you pick up to get to this upper level, skips like 5 minutes of combat.
Awesome.
And you're invincible while you picking up the overshield there. So that's why we didn't take any damage, because normally 3 grenades would super kill you.
Right.
But yeah, people figured that trick out without graphics. They did it blind.
Oh,
they
goodness.
didn't even know what the hallway looked like. I guess they knew what the hallway looked like because you can play through that section of hallway. But still!
Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of map out the hallway. Have a mental picture of it.
Yeah.
You could draw it out and have a physical picture if you wanted to.
They probably did. They're like, okay, it goes up about 10 feet here, so we're going this way, and... Oh, by the way, they didn't know where the holes in the ceiling were. They had to figure that out through trial and error.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah. I'm sure if I eventually do something like a Zelda or a Mario that has been run more than Halo,
Yeah.
because some of them at least have been run more than Halo, I'm going to run into some more absolutely banana stuff like that. But, like, I've got nothing else in any of the games I've speedrun has come close to that.
It's like when you showed me, what is it, the Breath of the Wild speedrun?
Yeah.
Where they, like, figure out how to fly on their shield?
Fly on their shield and with bombs and just multiple ways. Yeah. There's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That close. That Elite had connected. That would have been the end of the run.
Oh, goodness.
Probably, I think. Anyway, glad I missed that. But yeah, there's some banana stuff. So I want to like hear the story of that because I think I'm going to eventually do that.
Oh, wow.
Not
okay.
next. But I'm like, well, it might not be hard. It's almost
That's
impossible
fair.
to tell looking at a trick if it's hard.
Okay.
Unless you're hearing some narration and you listen for things like pixel perfect, frame anything with perfect really is like that's
you
gonna be
have
painful.
to be perfect.
Yes. Or you hear people talk about the RNG involved, but some stuff that looks incredibly hard is actually like basically free.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of the grenade jumps actually, relatively free. Like basically anytime you see a grenade jump,
Like
that's
once you
probably
figure
the
out
easiest.
how to do a grenade jump, then grenade jumps are pretty easy, right?
Yeah, because the timing is similar, or at least the principle of the timing is going to be similar.
Yeah.
Like throw a grenade and jump at the right time. That's true for basically any single grenade jump.
Right. Okay. Then if you have multiple grenade jumps, then you have to practice those.
Yeah.
Right.
So it may look pretty intense, but it's actually fine. Oh, also a lot of like combat and run through sections that can look tricky, and it might be fine.
Really?
Hard to tell until you do it.
Okay.
Like the start of this level, hands down, the hardest combat in the game. Probably harder than most of the tricks.
Oh, the 8 grenades on the landing pad thing.
And everything that came before it.
Okay.
So all of that is also super difficult.
Okay.
So
There's an invisible guy right there, isn't there?
yeah, and there's another one. Oh, I already got the guy to my right. And we're sneaking up on him because we're invisible.
Ha!
And now we're going to quickly pick up some grenades before moving on. So, but yeah, I'm interested
okay.
to see, because I looked up a guide or two briefly, and I was like, I can't tell if this is, I have to do this 50 times to make it work once, or if this is just once you know the buttons, you can do it.
Right.
So, we'll see.
Or like it might take an hour to learn, but once you learn it, you can do it most of the time.
Yeah, that's another thing, is
Yeah.
like, some things it's like, it's so incredibly precise, you have to do it a ton to just make sure you hit that window consistently.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff where it's like, once you know where it is, and you figured out a method that works for you,
Right.
you can hit it pretty consistently. Like, most of the combat, not the stuff at the beginning of the level so much, but most of the combat is like that. Where you might die a couple of times. Once you know where everything is, and once you can kind of get a rhythm going, it kind of works out. By the way, in case anyone's wondering why we're shooting a Marines this time...
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's so it makes the captain behind us mad, because normally he gives some dialogue at the end of this, and if he's mad at us, he's just trying to kill us and doesn't want to talk to us. So we skip some dialogue.
Ah. For goodness knows people take forever to talk.
Yes. I know you were very upset by the whole, like, you do a lot of killing people because they talk too much. Should I be worried?
Yes. Oh, goodness. Yeah. And then you're done. There was no end, like, wait for the ship to come down.
No, that's not even where the level's supposed to end.
What?
No, the level's supposed to end a couple hallways further in that big hangar room. But because we skipped some stuff, the game freaks out and is like, I don't know, you can end now, I guess.
But at least now you have, like, an internal break.
Yes.
You have to wait for something that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm. Like a good 20, what is this, about 30 seconds, and then there's like a minute of walking after this.
Oh,
so you get a good 90 seconds before you have to be skillful at the game again. Because there's a big beach fight, and we're just going to walk on by.
Yeah.
Or walk the other way.
Walk away from the fight.
Like, y'all have fun!
Bye!
Tell Steven Spielberg we said good luck.
Yeah, because this is the one where you showed me they just figured out the new trick, right?
Yeah. There's another trick where basically this entire level has been reduced down to a teleport. They figured out a way you can teleport to skip almost the entire level. It's basically a little bit of beach fight, teleport, grenade jump, done. Like, it's a little bananas.
Yeah, but you had already recorded this and you're not redoing it.
Oh yeah, that teleport is maybe the new hardest trick in the game.
Oh really?
Maybe. Because you have 2 pixel perfect things, and you then also have like a 30 millisecond timing window you have to hit.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, not, hey, hit this button, wait 30 milliseconds, then do it, or something that'd be easy. No, it's like, hit these 2 buttons, and then wait a couple seconds, and then hit this 30 millisecond window.
Oh, goodness.
So...
No, you're gonna drive this car up a place where a car clearly is not supposed to be driven.
Yeah, we are...
Yeah.
Total Sunday driving this thing into this building where it's totally not supposed to go. So that we can get through the security door, because normally this is supposed to be locked. But if we A, drive a car at it, and then B, use the car to fling ourselves through the door, we're actually hitting ourselves with the back end of the car to get some extra momentum.
Yeah.
That gets us in.
And now you're in.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to do something which is not part of most of the speedrun, but I do it because it helps my blood pressure, is take out some of those bad guys. And then I'm doing this lineup so that I don't die when I hit the side of that.
Oh, goodness.
And now I should be waiting for another check.
Yeah, because now your health is blinking. Like, we're mad at you.
You almost died. We don't want you to do that. Please go find a health pack. Oh.
Oh, you fell off the edge there?
I fell off the edge there.
Okay.
Right before checkpoint, so we're good.
Okay. Well, right after.
Excuse me, yeah, right after. Oh, my goodness.
And again. Oh, goodness. Okay.
I figured I messed it up once. I was like, twice. Oof. Even so, it's like 10, 15 seconds lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
So...
I don't know. Sometimes you say 10, 15 seconds is like the end of the world, and sometimes 10, 15 seconds isn't that big of a deal.
That's also a difficult question in the speedrunning. Like, there will be people who get into, like, borderline philosophical debates about should you do this trick. I was waiting for a checkpoint before I started the trick, because now I'm throwing 5 grenades. And this trick just doesn't work like 30% of the time. I figured out.
30%, okay.
But those 5 grenades blow up and send you up here. And I'm so shocked that worked the first time almost. I'm like, oh my goodness. I got a good Truth and Reconciliation, the last level, that's super hard, and that guy took out my shield.
Oh.
You notice I had that big, like, super shield?
Yeah, you had the super duper shield.
Gone, because he overcharged me. And now I'm, like, a little bit irritated, but I'm like, okay, maybe this is fine. Maybe I can make this work.
Because normally then you come in here with a supercharged whatever.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about basically any of these guys, because you just have so much shield and health that it's not a problem.
Yeah, and now you're overcharging your gun.
Yeah. See if I can hit something else. And still somehow made it. So I'm like, thanking my lucky stars here.
And now you're back to where your car is.
Yes! And I got taken out!
I didn't realize you get back to where your car is.
Yeah, you get back to where your car is.
Oh.
But that guy died, and now I'm like, I lost like 30 or 45 seconds.
Oh, because you have to go walk this ramp again.
And I got to wait for my shield to come back, and I got to go through this tricky bit again. And
goodness. And die again.
And die again. I am like borderline restarting at this point because it's like a minute lost.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, how long is 10 to 15 seconds really is a question that comes up a lot in speedrunning.
Yeah, where you're just like, oh, I lost a minute on this because I died twice.
Yeah. If this had happened more than once in the run, I probably would have done it. And I almost quit again.
3 times.
This is so painful.
Oh, goodness.
If I finished the level that second, that would have been just even with my previous time that I played this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But now I'm like, I am losing time.
The whole time.
Yeah. I'm like, even if I finished instantaneously, I would be losing 14 seconds at this point.
Oh, goodness.
It's such a good truth and reconciliation. Like, if you look at my splits,
Yeah.
I was a minute and 30 ahead after the second level.
Yeah.
And I'm 2 minutes and 30 ahead after the third level.
And now you're 2 minutes down.
Yeah. And the third level
goodness.
is maybe overall the hardest, maybe not. At least for me, it's probably my hardest level.
At least for your blood pressure.
At least for my blood pressure. And
Now you gotta drive your car back through the hallways.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
So we can get out. And now I'm like,
Why did you get out? Oh,
so I can get the big gun on the back and, oh, please tell me I didn't go back again. Whew! Okay. That actually would have been the run if I hadn't got a checkpoint right there.
Oh.
So, there's a
Yeah.
guy coming up here, so I take him out, and what I was trying to do, I think I'm going to pull off in a second, or maybe I just give up, is hop in that back so I can use the big gun.
Oh.
But it's not
Why are
working
you
for me.
waiting?
Now I'm waiting for my shield to recharge,
Oh.
and
And your grenade to go off.
yes. And I'm definitely a little bit, like, frazzled at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So, not making the best of decisions. And I'm just like, devil taken, I'm just going to get in the car and go out. Which is what a lot of people do, to be fair.
Yeah.
The normal thing I did and the thing I did in the individual level segment of taking them out, not what most people do.
Oh, and now you have to wait for the ship again, right?
Yes.
Ah.
All right. Lost a minute and a half. Was like so almost quit right there.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, I was 2.5 minutes ahead. Now I'm 54 seconds ahead.
Oh, goodness.
Still ahead.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
doing better. But like,
You lost your 2 minutes.
yeah, I
Two
lost.
and a half minutes.
Yeah.
You're now only 1 minute.
Yes.
Oh, this now, like, having watched all the individual levels, I'm like, this feels like roomy. Like, there's so many cutscenes. What is this?
It's not just like immediately into it, immediately out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite as jarring this go around.
And you've also seen it a bit, so that probably helps.
Yeah. Well, it's really only the one time, right? I've watched each level once. And you died again.
Oh no. Right before a checkpoint, so we're a lot better.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, but you gotta figure, I just lost a minute and a half, so I'm still
Right.
very much frazzled. And I'm like, I'm gonna wait here for a checkpoint, I'm pretty sure. Got the checkpoints. I'm like, okay, did that good. Now we can move on. Hit him with the grenade. Alright.
Yeah.
That's the main elite you have to worry about, so this should be pretty chill. You got a bunch of grenades, you can just use all of them, because you're not actually gonna do a lot of fighting.
Okay.
Just need to take these guys out, and hopefully that grenade doesn't get me. Okay.
Ah.
And now we're good. We got another checkpoint.
Okay.
So now we just have to do this one trick.
Interesting. The weather
Ball's getting in a very precise spot on the ground, taking out the grunts and that turret so they can't use it against you. And you duck at a precise time so that Banshee veers off to the right. Didn't duck at the precise right time, so now I have to do it again.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So now the blood pressure is coming back up a little.
Oh.
Like, I need to be saving time. I'm not saving time.
I'm sure you're doing fine.
Yes, but I don't know that yet.
Oh.
Okay. Ducked at the right time there, I think. Nope, didn't do it. Oh, nope. You see what it should look like in a second.
Okay, I'm like, I don't remember what it should look like.
You'll see. But yeah, normally at most I need one extra attempt with that, and now I'm on like attempt number 3.
Oh,
So I'm just
yeah.
like, have to restart. Is this a I'm about to go to bed thing? There we go.
You ducked, it went over.
Yay!
Oh, so it comes down this way.
Yep, and you do a little dance while it's coming up there, and he still didn't jump out for some reason.
Oh. Oh, because you need to make him jump out.
So, speaking about how precise tricks need to be, I'm willing to bet
Yeah.
you these looked identical. Like, I'm
They did. I can't tell the difference.
talking fractions of a second in movement, or
Yeah,
handful
so
of
you're
pixels.
moving there. It looks like you're just trying to keep it in sight.
Oh, little. Well, yeah, if you do that dance just right, he jumps out.
Oh, goodness.
And now you have a plane, which you were not supposed to have.
Yeah, which makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and you fly through the level, and no, there are no bad guys.
Right.
These would be swarming with bad guys if...
Yeah, I imagine on the ledge as well as the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, there'd be dudes flying through the air, there'd be dudes on ledges, there'd be tanks. I think there's at least 2 tanks
So
here.
is the checkpoint that you missed on the ground, is that why you missed it?
Trigger, but I believe it's if you go across the bridge... Yeah. I forget exactly where it is, but if you go across the bridge, there's some elevators which will take you down to the ground level. Somewhere in there's a trigger, which will start spawning in. And like the triggers are kind of staggered, so they kind of look back at each other. I believe is how it works in some cases. So if you miss one, you break the chain.
And none of it happens.
Yeah, and none of it happens.
Okay.
Because there would be other triggers, probably hitting these door switches would be triggers which would spawn things.
But since you missed the one, then these don't go.
Yes. I believe specifically when you hit a trigger in order, it then tells the the game to look for the next trigger. So it's not wasting processing space looking for 30 triggers when it could just be looking for one.
Right.
So, but as a consequence, if you just sort of skip one, you get to go to the end.
Yeah. Then none of them go for the whole thing. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, but I know on other levels it doesn't work like that. You go through sections where there's no bad guys, and then you walk through something, and then suddenly there's bad guys again.
Usually we do that on purpose, because in some cases, the very last trigger is the end game, or the end level trigger. Sometimes that's hit a button, and you can just hit that button regardless of if you've broken the chain or not.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to actually have the chain go through.
Right.
So in some cases, they'll be like, hey, we'll get rid of the bad guys, do some stuff to make it easier for us, and then once we're ready, spawn the bad guys in.
Okay.
But in other cases like this level, where the ending trigger is just always there for whatever reason,
yeah,
you'd have to ask the programmers, I guess. Maybe it's because it's a button.
Okay.
And buttons are always there. I don't know.
Why do you spin your gun like that?
It's part of the animation after you smack something with it. You smack it and then you twirl it around.
Oh, and you jump through a window.
Yep.
Why in the world is there a window right there?
You'd have to ask the Forerunners. So.
The architect of whatever video game design something.
Them as well.
Yeah.
By the way, if it ever seems like we're blowing through stuff, there are 10 videos where we go through each of these levels and we talk about this in more detail.
It's
so
true.
If you'd like more detail, shameless plug for the other 10 videos we've done.
There's more than a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why'd you jump back down?
To get to here quicker.
Oh.
This is basically a donut and the game wants you to go like counterclockwise.
Okay.
But you can kind of cut the corner and go straight across the donut-ish.
Okay. And now you have another airplane. That you said last time this usually has someone in it, but because you missed the one trigger, then it doesn't have a bad guy in it.
Yes, this is actually a fun thing because I've never, I think I've maybe once played the game where I didn't get this plane. Because even before you do speedrunning, what'll happen is you open the door to come out onto that bridgey thing. Yeah. There'll be a bad guy that really quickly runs and gets in.
Okay, but so if you kill him before he gets in,
then you get a plane. So.
Well, I imagine you don't normally fly it through this thing.
You do not. Normally there's a bunch of bad guys here, so they'd probably take out your plane. But you might. Plane. You might. I mean, you definitely could get it here. Yeah. I mean, what I'm doing is essentially probably what I did before. It didn't take a lot of
stuff. And now you're blowing up your plane.
Because I hit the end trigger.
Ow.
And I lost another 30 seconds.
Another 30 seconds?
Yeah, I'm now only... I was 54 seconds ahead.
You're now... It's the same as if you had just done the first level.
Yeah, kind of depressing.
Yeah, that is a little depressing.
Because that was, to date, I think still my fastest I have ever played that third level. And it was a pretty good second level, too.
Yeah, you gained a minute on both of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah. Over your personal... This is judging against your personal best or just your last run?
This is judging against every run I have done on this up to this point.
So personal best.
Personal best.
I mean, that were timed.
I guess I should clarify things here. Okay, so there's... That were timed. So yeah, when I was playing through in the whole game, those are all those times.
Right.
So when I was playing individual levels...
Your personal bests for individual levels don't count here.
That's correct.
Right. This one's not as pretty as the foresty one, probably because it's the jungle and you can't see as far.
Yeah, we've...
And it's raining and dark. And
we are descending on the pretty meter. The next...
Yeah.
This and the next level you're not going to like. The next level is entirely indoors.
Oh, is that the library?
Yeah, next level's the library.
Okay.
Which everybody else dislikes because I think it's repetitive, I guess.
They have ugly zombies.
Yeah, and you don't like it because it has ugly zombies.
Why are you falling?
We're on an elevator.
Oh.
It just looks like we're falling because we're jumping off it basically as soon as we can.
Well, okay. But why does the elevator go so fast? Most other elevators in this game that I've seen go really, really slow.
I don't know. You had to ask the people who built the elevator, I guess.
Okay. You didn't do anything to make it go really fast. Another grenade jump?
Another grenade jump, which this
Did you
one
not get?
I didn't get. You get a couple shots of this. You have 4 grenades. You can basically use all of them for this. We're going to take another shot. It's a pretty specific
trying
timing.
to go through the ceiling.
Yep. And land in the middle of the ceiling.
Ah.
So we are now in the ceiling. You can see us jump around through it.
Yep.
And now we're going to jump through a wall.
Okay.
And you're going to skip about a couple minutes a game.
Ah. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you may notice if you're looking through the times on the right, this level's
Yeah.
not that long.
No, it's not. No, that's pretty short.
Yeah. And that's a big part of the reason why. It's also not a super long level generally, but by skipping a large part of that first section, it definitely helps.
Yeah.
So now we are doing one of the more precise jumps in the game because we're going to... Normally you'd have to drop down and fight guys, but if you're really precise, you can jump up here and then jump across.
Alrighty.
And you don't have to fight around there and weave through some other hallways and stuff.
Well, they can't see you, right? So they don't know to, like...
That is true. Oh, also, because we just moved through quicker, our camo lasts almost this entire second section.
Oh, because normally it would wear off.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
After like 1 or 2 rooms. I guess maybe more like 3 or 4, but still. Because we know exactly where to go and we can skip a few rooms, the camo lasts almost entirely to the end.
Wow.
And there is another grenade jump you could do here. I went in this room and went right to pick up a shotgun.
Uh-huh.
And normally you could go left and just use a grenade to jump up.
Oh.
But now I have a shotgun.
Now you have a shotgun. And now no more camo.
Yeah, so now I actually have to fight and stuff.
Oh.
But it's not too bad. You throw a grenade there, it'll blow up basically all the guys spawned in over there. And
That's
it's
pretty
not
nice.
too bad. I still almost managed to die, but it's normally not
okay.
too bad. So I'm like,
Yeah,
down to 1 health.
you are really close to dying.
Yeah, one of those dudes will get me. If one of those dudes had got me, that would have been...
Those, the itty bitty ones?
One of those itty bitty ones would have got me. I don't know if that would have killed the run, but that would have been real
How in
demoralizing.
the world do you see where you're going right there?
Literally just having played it a bunch.
Okay.
The first 2 or 3 times I did it, I didn't know where I was.
Uh-huh.
But if you can manage to keep your orientation there, then you can do it.
Huh.
I mean, it's like when you drive somewhere a bunch, you sort of have like a mental impression burned into your brain of where everything is. That's kind of what's going on here.
Okay. That's good. It's true. If I drive somewhere for the first time in the dark and then I try to drive there again, I don't know where I'm going. But if I've driven somewhere in the daytime, then I can get myself there again.
Yeah.
Because you like have that, you're like, oh yeah, this thing was on that side. I remember seeing that over there.
You just know where everything is.
When I first moved here, I went to a group pretty regularly every week, but I always drove there after dark. And so I could never remember how to get there.
Oh no.
Like I needed to get a map every time because I didn't know what the roads were.
Oh no.
Because I'd never driven there in the daytime.
Well, everybody needs a map.
That's true.
And with this, you need a lot of tutorials. By the way, some of you may have picked up on shot the 2 sentinels out of the air, those robot guys.
Yeah, what? Why?
Because the level ends after they're dead.
Ah!
That's one of the triggers for the level ending, is them dying.
So you have to know that and know that you need to shoot them before you would otherwise have to.
And know where they spawn.
Right.
So.
And this is the one with all the zombies.
Yes.
Why does everyone like zombies?
I don't know. Guilt-free shooting things? I don't know. So, grenade jump up here.
Okay.
And now I'm starting to get a little bit of my mojo back because I saved 20 seconds.
Oh.
The gold time means that's the fastest I've ever beaten that level with these times.
Oh.
So, you grenade jump up there because it lets you skip a bunch of fighting. And now, we're not going to do the trick with the shooting the zombie arm off. We're doing a safer strategy where you just have to run back here, hit a trigger, and then run forward.
Okay.
And now that door that if you watch the other video, we kind of teleport, I guess, bump through. Now we just wait for it to open. So we made sure to hit a couple triggers so the door up here opens, and now we don't have to worry about our friend without the arm to get us through.
Okay.
Because for something that'll come up later in the run, this happens at least one more time. When Flood revive and they pop up, they can push you a little bit. And if you get them to push you just right, they can push you through the geometry of a door, so you can skip doors.
That is very helpful. Oh, and that's your little computer guy, right?
Yep, that's 343 Guilty Spark. So that
Guilty Spark? Why Guilty Spark?
Yeah, it sounded cool, probably.
And 343 just because.
Yeah, one of the other... There are other ones in other Halo games, and they also have similarly weird-sounding names, like Mendicant Bias, I think is one.
What?
I don't even know what that means. I know what bias means. I have no idea what Mendicant means. Oh, this is one of my favorite tricks coming up, by the way. So, we have to take these guys out, kind of quick so they don't kill us, and then you throw a grenade at that guy as a shotgun, and you catch a shotgun out of the air, because you blew it towards you.
Oh my, and now you have a shotgun.
Now I have a shotgun, and it's actually pretty straightforward and easy to do. It looks way cooler, or it looks way harder than it actually is. Because you really need a shotgun for this section.
Yeah.
In fact, I think, even with a shotgun.
Wow. But you already have your shotgun?
No, this is
do it again?
right before. Now I have to do it again. Throw the grenade over there to take out a few guys.
Okay.
Yeah, and grenade. Shotgun.
Shotgun.
And if you
I
miss
saw it this time.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate you dying sometimes because then, you've pointed this thing out and I can't see it in real time. But then when we rewatch it, I'm like, oh, I see the thing. So I appreciate you dying.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I'm glad it was not just for my own frustration's sake. And
No.
It is kind of simulating what happens in tutorials when you have to watch it several times, or they'll show you it 3 or 4 times with variations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they'll be like, you do this, and sometimes this will happen, so you got to do this other thing to make up for it. So, like, seeing it 4 or 5 times, or seeing it done by multiple people, is helpful.
Okay.
So, I mean, even with this, I'm doing 1 or 2 things a little bit differently than I did with the individual level. Because that...
because that one, like, it's only a however many minute level. Like, you're fine rerunning the level however many times. But this, you're an out...
52 minutes in. Oh, that cost me like a minute. Oh, that hurt to watch.
Oh, really? Did you die again?
Yeah, I died again.
Aww.
Oh, at one of the last possible moments on this floor, too.
Oh, no.
Like,
right before the checkpoint?
Right before the checkpoint. All this fighting, no checkpoint.
Aww, that's sad.
One of the things the games check for is a bad guy trying to kill you, basically.
Oh, and they won't give you a checkpoint while a bad guy is trying to kill you?
That is correct. They're like, nope, no mad bad guys. All the bad guys have to be happy or no checkpoint.
Oh, goodness.
And you'll notice I'm now being even safer there.
Yeah.
I took some time to, like, take out a bunch of dudes before I moved on.
Yes, I did notice. Why is there the one yellow thing on your screen?
That is 343 Guilty Spark. So that's the
okay.
artificial intelligence.
That's the thing that's not trying to kill you right now.
Yes.
Okay.
They are not a human. They're not on Team Humanity, but they're not against Team Humanity right now either.
Right.
And if you're good, you can get through this floor in 3 minutes, pretty flat, I think. And I'm taking about 4.5. And I think I've done this and it taken 3 minutes. Like,
oh, really?
the individual level, if I had to guess,
right. This is the really slow elevator. Like, what in the world was up with the fast elevators before, and this one's so darn slow?
Maybe the variety in elevator speed adds to the dramatic tension. It's a bigger elevator. Maybe they just made one motor size and they put it in all the elevators. Because I bet the size to speed ratio is pretty constant.
Oh, goodness.
Which tells me they're using the same motor.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, the real answer is probably dramatic tension. A lot of things in this game are because it's cool.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so right here, we hit a checkpoint, which you'll know, or a trigger, because it says the hold your position.
Why?
The monitor is the one of the other names for the blue flying around guy. And because I hit that, I know it has the trigger for some bad guys to spawn. And if I then back out of it, most of the bad guys won't spawn.
Oh, so it tells you to not move, but you specifically move because it told you to not move.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Which they probably programmed the game to do that, to be like, hey, they could just back out and then this whole fight doesn't work. Let's tell them to stay here and make them think that they need to stay here. But they don't actually need to stay here. You can't just back out and not have to fight the guys.
Oh, that's so funny.
And you may have been wondering, viewers, you're like, hey, you talked about this thing where you use a flood to bump through the door. There were a bunch of flood. Could you bump through the door? Yes, it works 20% of the time.
Oh, and you're an hour in.
Yeah. No chance. No chance.
You're not going to take an 80% risk of this run not working.
Yeah. No way, dude. I only got to this level like a dozen times or so.
Oh, in the full run?
Yeah, in 290 attempts, got here like 12 times.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
If that sounds bananas, just keep in mind like 240 of those are just the first level.
Okay. That makes it a lot better. It does make it better.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, you did an hour and a half 290 times. That's way more than 50 hours. What in the world are you thinking?
Yeah, that would be absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
But no, just 290 times and probably only almost all those probably only went 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you get the 50 hours and not the, what's that?
Almost 300.
No, if it's an hour and a half times
290,
or like 2 hours.
It's like 440.
Hour 45 times 290 average.
400 and change hours.
Right. You're better at math than me. Yeah, like 400 hours. That's bananas.
Mm-hmm. And now we have one of the other rough combat sections. It's less skill-based and more luck-based.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because sometimes there'll just be flood with the right weapons in the right places and you'll just die. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But there is also a fair amount of skill of, like, don't miss a shot.
Okay.
So as soon as we come out of this, we're going to, like, shoot a couple of guys, throw a grenade to clear out the first area. And hopefully that goes well. That's all skill. If that doesn't work, that's on me.
Okay.
But once you're out of this little hole thingy, then, like, what spawns where and is
not, like, completely predetermined.
Yeah. And with what weapons is kind of random.
Oh, okay.
So all these guys that are going to be spawning in, jumping around here, what weapons they have.
My goodness, I can barely see them.
Yeah, it helps to, like, know where they should be coming from.
My goodness.
I think this time it just worked.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, I did see the rocket launcher. Not as good as the shotgun and pistol combo we're rocking. Partially because of the splash damage and we're in close quarters.
Right.
Partially because of the ammo. You only get a couple shots with it.
Oh.
So, thankfully, it worked. Which is probably why you're seeing this particular run.
Because otherwise you'd lose however much, like a lot of time on that.
Yeah, you can imagine if, like, if one of those things right at the end of that combat gets you, you're sent, like, back to a minute or so to this, like, little hole you jump out of.
Yeah.
There's no checkpoint anywhere in there because there's still bad guys that are mad at me.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know if I've actually gotten a checkpoint yet. It's probably going to be a couple seconds.
You got to get all the way up in the air before it gives you a checkpoint.
Yeah,
bad guys forget you exist.
Yeah, bad guys need to forget
I don't want to ride the elevator.
Yeah. The programmers were just like, hey, we want to put text.
Checkpoint!
Periodically.
They're not mad at you anymore.
They finally forgot about me.
Yeah, they forgot you exist.
And now we're to the more chill part of the level.
Oh, goodness.
Still not very chill, but more chill. So, these couple of guys will spawn in those places with those weapons. That's not a big deal.
Okay, but you know that they're there where they are. You know what weapons they have, but that's not random.
Yeah, at least some of them isn't random. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's officially known that it's not a big deal.
Okay.
And they give you ammo. You get a health pack.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, they're luring you in with a false sense of security.
Oh.
Probably.
And now on to Minion Whittle guys.
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing you're not using the new graphics.
Yeah, this would be super, even less pretty than it is right here.
Yeah, and it's already not pretty.
So now I am jumping and shooting to make sure it doesn't give me a checkpoint, because there's a trick here that only works 40% of the time in a second.
Oh.
So this you can run just by. This is basically free. And I'm going to throw a grenade here to further delay a checkpoint.
Okay.
And right here, we're going to wait got the checkpoint. So now you go. That's going to take out a guy in the corner. That's going to take out that guy here. And this guy, we're going to have to reset because he's not a reviver. Because we need him to be the pop back up.
And that's
to
why
get us
you
through the
didn't
door.
want a checkpoint earlier, because you want a checkpoint right there, just in case.
Because there's
and
only
you stand on top of him.
Yes, and he bumps me through the door.
Oh.
And hopefully I do this right and don't get hit him behind me. Great. Because it's totally random.
Does he pop through the door too?
No, but he can hit you through the door if you're still in it.
Oh.
So you're not... It's not done once you're in the door. There's specific ways you have to jump, or you could get stuck, or they could start hitting you through the door.
Oh, goodness.
So, but the random part is just, are they going to be a reviver? That's only a 40% chance.
Okay. So
There-
having the checkpoint there is pretty important.
Yeah, because it'll just straight not work, and you'll lose like a minute to having to
Right.
fight all the flood. Which is not super hard.
Why are
Like,
they called the Flood?
because
there's so many of them and they just kind of whoosh.
yeah, win through sheer force of numbers,
Ah.
like water molecules in a flood. They're not that scary individually, but you get enough of them.
Yeah.
Throw a grenade there because I knew the guys were going to jump out, so I'm like, here, land on this.
Okay.
And now this is...
There's another dude. Jumping.
It probably doesn't look it, but this is actually a good bit more chill than the other similar looking sections to this.
Oh, yeah? How come?
Not as many guys, not people with rocket launchers showing up.
Okay.
So it's just generally not too bad.
Okay.
And now we're going to get to another waiting section right here. And they usually don't follow you in here. And you get more grenades. There's a health pack if you lost some health. And now we're just going to hide in a corner like the hero we are.
Wait for the door to open.
Yeah. Real simple. There is a way that you can like glitch into this ceiling and then teleport through part of the level. And as is a theme at this point, we're an hour in.
Right.
I don't want to chance that not working.
You know.
I don't care if a trick's not that hard. I ain't doing it.
Oh, goodness.
Only saves me like 60 seconds?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, you remember in the Stardew Valley,
Yeah.
we did the speedrun, which has already come out at this point. You remember how tense it is after you're an hour or two in and you're like, please let this work. Please let this work. Please let this
Well,
work.
and that one, like, the crunch point is all the way at the end. And there really isn't much of a crunch point before that.
Nope. This one, it's like, there's a bunch of crunch points throughout, but more at the beginning than the end.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you've also, like, specifically designed it that way just because you're not willing to put 10,000 hours into this.
Oh, yeah. I do most of the strategies for the first 3 levels. There's only a couple of things I don't do. Once you get to, like, the 4th level,
Yeah.
you may notice we had a whole thing about, I'm not doing the strategy for this.
Right.
And
because it's so chancy.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet someone's walking through and taking notes of every time I say, I'm not doing that. That's too not chancing it. It goes up and up and up and up and up the further you get.
Yeah.
So.
This door is taking a long time to open.
Yeah, it's either 60 or 90 seconds. I forget exactly
goodness.
how much. But you can see why people would skip this.
Yeah.
Not chancing it though.
Oh, goodness.
No. And this is probably the biggest single amount of kills you get with a grenade in the whole game, because there's a ton of flood there. And if you do it right, only got like 7 or 8, and there's like 11 or 12 here. So.
And if you do it right, you get all of them?
You get like 10 if you put it really well.
Oh, okay.
But these guys don't spawn if you do the teleport in the ceiling thing.
Oh, okay.
So...
Did you do the teleport in the ceiling for the other thing, or no? You were waiting for the door.
No, and that's mostly because just so like, I don't want to spend another hour or 2 learning a trick for something that I know I can already get a good time for.
Okay.
Like, I forget what my library time is, but it was relatively respectable for the individual level. Okay. So.
That's pretty good.
And you also got to figure, that trick is still like 10 minutes in. So, there's a little, it's not as bad as an hour in, but there's a little bit of like, dude, might be more willing to do that if it was a minute into the level, not 10 minutes in.
Right, or if it skipped the whole rest of the level or something. Or...
Yeah. They're doing that trade-off math of how much pain am I willing to endure to go up how much.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, goodness.
And a little bit of combat here. Mainly we want them dead, not because they'd kill us, but because we're about to do a grenade jump, which does a lot of damage. So them taking out our shields and stuff would be like real bad.
Right, because you need them.
Yeah.
For you.
I'm pretty sure I would die if I didn't have shields there.
Okay.
And now guess what we're doing now?
You get to hide in a corner.
We get to hide in a corner!
Yeah.
I
do remember that. I felt like you've hid like half a dozen corners.
It's at least 3 or 4 at this point.
Okay. So, and there's going to be more?
No, this is the last hiding I think I do for the rest of the game.
Okay.
Like
And the door's on the left this time instead of the right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Door's on the right. Yeah. All right.
So, and to finish us off, there's going to be one more grenade jump.
All right.
So, and again, getting increasingly tense because it's just the further you get in, the more time you're losing. So, it's a little bit like playing. There's games where if you die, you just go all the way back to the beginning.
Oh goodness.
It's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So it's not quite playing permadeath because clearly you can die
and come right back and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I've died like 7 or 8 times this run.
Yeah.
And this is still like 50 out of 140. This is number 50 on the leaderboards out of 140 people.
Oh,
on the leaderboards.
thank you. Yes.
So now,
About 2/3 out.
running and gunning, taking out a bunch of bad guys so they don't mess us up.
Yeah.
And now we're going to jump through this so we don't have to stick around and fight all the guys because that door doesn't actually open all the way for a while.
Oh.
And
you died!
And I died because it's like a 1% chance for one of those dudes who jumps through to have a shotgun and they will just take you out.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, there's not really anything you can do about that. Just this trick, like 1% of the time, this is literally the only time it's happened to me.
Oh, my goodness.
Was in this run. You're like, you gotta be kidding me.
Funny.
Just the game was like, nah, you're going too fast. I want you to lose 40 seconds. So yeah, that guy who just jumped through.
Yeah.
Or one of the others, if he has a shotgun, oh well.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, but as you can tell, still gaining time.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be quite 3 minutes because this cutscene, which we just triggered, is still timed.
And you can't skip this one.
You can't skip this one.
And that's right, because you said you have to kill all the bad guys because otherwise they will come kill you during the cutscene. Right?
That's later on.
No, that's later.
This cutscene you're invincible for because reasons, I guess. But
okay.
There are other cutscenes where you are not.
Okay.
So there's actually a funny thing that happens with this cutscene where if some of the bad guys follow you, you'll actually see them hitting you during the cutscene.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I think if you watch the individual level, one of them is, like, stuck to 343 Guilty Spark and then hops onto us. It's kind of funny.
Oh, goodness.
So, little funny thing that happens, small way the game breaks, is bad guys in cutscenes. So now...
And took the thing.
And he took the thing. That's basically the firing mechanism for the Halo ring we're on.
Right.
So... we're going to take that back to the control room. Not that we've been paying attention to the plot, really.
No.
But we're going to take that back to the control room to ostensibly fire the thing. And what's going to happen instead is... spoiler alert. Bad guy's going to betray us, and we're going to get shot immediately as soon as the level starts.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Is that like that? That just always happens?
That just always happens. Those sentinels, which were helping us out in the previous couple levels...
are now aimed at you.
Are now aimed at me. The 343 Guilty Spark is like, nope, you must die.
Okay.
So, now the bad guys are against us.
Yeah.
And we got a good chunk of our time back!
Yay! We're back up to like 2 minutes.
For the last really big crunch point. There's one more little crunch point, but this whole level is kind of a crunch point.
Oh, yeah?
This is some really tricky combat. A lot of the time you'll just die here. In fact...
Do you?
Let's see. No, I think this just barely worked. Oh.
Good
You
job.
also have to leave some of the guys alive, because remember that, like, the level spawns in more stuff if you kill enough dudes there?
Oh.
Yeah. So you gotta
So you have to leave them alive, otherwise you get more stuff.
Yes. And we hit that button with a very careful timing, so that only a couple of these guys spawn in, except we missed the timing, so now we're going to have to do it again.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
But what should happen is, I believe with this... because, oh yeah, this is also the same as our individual level. This is
this is the other one. Okay.
Yeah. Note the 2 hardest levels are the ones that made it into the full game. Yeah.
Yeah, that you didn't redo.
Yeah. Not a coincidence there.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so normally there'd be bad guys crawling all the way around here. You'd be getting shot at. And there'd be a tank down here that'd be throwing giant tank rounds at us. But
Oh,
no,
goodness.
we hit that button with 2 relatively precise timings, or not even that tight.
Okay.
A couple hundred milliseconds if I had to guess. And now we can just walk down here.
That's pretty nice.
And we were mentioning a couple levels back that like chain of triggers you have to keep intact.
Is this another one where if you skip a trigger...
Yeah, that's what's happened. We skipped a trigger, so now dudes aren't here.
And now you won't have bad guys for the rest of the level.
Well, except this one we actually need the chain intact, so now we're going to go spawn the bad guys in.
But now you have a ship to do it in.
Now we have a ship, so we're just going to fly by them.
Yeah.
Makes it way easier. Yeah, skip a trigger so we can go grab a ship. And now we hit that trigger again, that door. Mm-hmm. Now there's bad guys here.
Oh.
So we would have to fight all these dudes on our way down.
Yeah, now there's a bunch of dudes on every single level.
It's painful. Yeah, if you didn't skip it, it might be the hardest part. Might be the hardest combat.
Oh, goodness.
So
Do you, after you fight all those bad guys, do you still get the ship? Or-
yeah, there's ships parked at the bottom, so you'd pick one up and then you'd fly up here. So this
Okay.
is what you would do. You wouldn't.
You would not be flying the ship into the thing.
No, we definitely wouldn't be doing this. Definitely wouldn't be throwing grenades to delay a checkpoint or a trigger. No, delay a checkpoint. We're actually doing a checkpoint.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah?
be shooting to delay a checkpoint.
Oh, is that why you're shooting?
Yes. And yeah, there we just got it.
Is that so your plane doesn't despawn, or?
It's so if those guys kill us, we have a checkpoint right before them.
Yeah.
So it's not actually that big a deal.
Okay.
What is a big deal is we're going to be more precisely positioning this plane, throw that to delay a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Then we precisely position this plane.
This is a different plane.
This is a different plane. Nope.
Oh, goodness.
Here's the
Okay.
other plane. And now, stuff is going to get
Oh,
real.
I remember.
Yeah, this is
You're like-
the hardest trick.
Fly.
Fly in the ceiling! Land on
the
a tiny
walls.
little slippery ledge. Flip to the graphics, and now we're sort of jumping on an invisible ledge. And now we're gonna line ourselves up here so we can jump through the walls,
Yep.
through the floor, and get back into our ship in a very precise way. Because we have loaded specific parts of the game, and because we unloaded specific parts, you may have noticed our Banshee just went through the floor there.
I did not notice.
Well, you're gonna notice some less subtle stuff in just a second here.
Okay.
Oh, it went through the ground.
Yeah, that's a
weird.
lot less subtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, through the wall. We have a plane that flies through walls. I think everyone can understand why this would be good for speedrunning.
Yeah.
But remember that bit we were talking
It
about?
is pretty
the
like
trick-
you it feels like you're still trying to like. It's having trouble getting through the walls. Like there's something there, but it's.
Oh, that is because there are 18 invisible triggers staggered throughout all these hallways we're flying through.
And you need to trigger them all.
And we need to trigger them all. And oh, by the way, they only check every second to see if you're in the specific spot. And if you're in a plane, you can blow through that pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I'm intentionally going like slow, and you'll see me like here backing up and backing through the floor a couple times because there's a trigger there. And I'm like, I really need to make sure because the game won't tell you.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, so you're intentionally being slow and like going back and forth.
yes.
That's not just because like the plane is having trouble flying.
No. You could totally floor it and just meow.
Okay.
Like, there's going to be a section or two where you see me just floor it. This isn't one. Like, I'm still feathering the throttle because there's 3 different triggers on this bridge. And I'm like,
Oh, goodness.
let me make sure I absolutely hit all of these and flying through this wall. So, people who have the world record not only have memorized 18 invisible triggers to hit with a plane that flies through walls, they have also memorized the timing, and they have figured out how to just floor it.
Did not have to like hang out at each trigger to make sure you catch it.
Yeah, and it saves like 20 or 30 seconds, and no. just no. Oh.
So I imagine there's another trigger here, and that's why you're bebopping around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that this part of it is really, really bad. For me, once I'm here, I'm like, dude, I can just take it super slow. I will just lose 30 seconds, 30, 45 seconds. And it's actually pretty rare. Of all the like 15, 20 times I practiced this, I only missed the triggers like twice.
Okay.
So if you just take it slow enough and you know generally where they are and there's kind of a pattern to them a little bit, it's
Yeah.
not too bad. If you want to, it's literally called YOLO strategy or something. YOLO triggers, where they just floor it through the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Go with God, my brother.
All right.
So you saw the explosion there real quick?
No, I didn't.
Well, there's an
Okay.
explosion there real quick.
Cool.
That
Yes.
means we got the first 18 triggers.
Oh, good.
There's another bunch.
Okay.
And right now, in fact, we are landing on an invisible pillar to briefly pop back inbounds to load part of the level we need loaded.
So that you can see where to go for the triggers. Have people figured out how to do that without loading the graphics for whatever?
No. I will say, of all the crazy things people have done, this many people holds up the number 0. have ever attempted to do this without the graphics.
So everyone pops back in to reload the graphics for that part.
There is a community who tries to play this game without the new graphics. And this is one of the tricks they just flat out do not do.
Okay. So you're on the new graphics right now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because you're flying in nothing.
Yeah. Well, if you get far enough away from the stuff in the game, it just is like, you don't need graphics. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another trigger there, so you're bebopping around.
Yep.
Rather than like getting stuck or whatever.
Yeah. Making absolutely for sure I hit it.
Because it does look like you're getting stuck.
Thankfully not. Thankfully there's no way to get stuck.
Oh, that's good.
So just bebopping around, as you say, to make sure I hit the trigger. And then there's one more.
Oh, goodness.
Right there. Yep. Right where that kind of arrow thingy is.
Okay. All right. Where you're going back and forth real slow.
Mm-hmm. And now it should give me, there we go, that little text there, and there's some voice lines at play here. That lets me know I hit the next couple.
Oh,
and
okay.
Now you should notice that stuttering goes away because I'm mostly just opening it up at this point. Because the triggers are big enough and it checks for them often enough, you can just kind of floor it.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And now we're flying to that red arrow.
Yeah. Not through the walls this time.
Yep. By the way,
is there a reason you're flying not through the walls? Is it triggers again? Oh, okay.
There's a little bit of a trigger thing and a little bit of, you remember that, how you get far enough
and it all despawns.
It all despawns and you're like, where is the level even?
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me is the scariest part of this, is flying far enough out that just everything despawns.
Yeah.
And I have no way of getting back.
Oh, goodness.
So, hit another trigger. There's, some flashing lights and stuff going on that tells us we hit it.
I didn't actually see the flashing lights.
Goes by quick, don't it?
My goodness, yeah.
Now we're flying through because, I practiced this enough and this saves enough time that I was like, fine, I'll fly through the void. And this,
it's so funny the snow loaded before everything else.
As a little bit. Makes me extra happy to see snow because I'm like, yes, I made it back to civilization.
Okay.
Now, this is the scariest part because we're doing that pop briefly out back inbounds. Uh-huh. And if you do this wrong, you can't get back in your plane and you're stuck in bounds and you just lost 6 minutes.
Right, because no checkpoints because you broke the game.
Yeah, no checkpoints. We broke the game. It's been 5 or 6 minutes. If at any point you mess this up. By the way, look at my keyboard. See the WASD that I'm using to fly around?
Okay.
That E button gets you out of the plane.
Oh, goodness.
So this entire time, you have your hands on, usually WAD, and you're, occasionally tab over to S, and you're like, please, let me not tap E.
Don't accidentally press E.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you do that one time?
Oh, I did that once. I lost a run. I had the video for it. I think I got rid of it. But I had the video for it where on one of these things, my finger slipped a little bit and I hit E, and my dude just, whoop, falls through the floor into oblivion.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
But now...
That's so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny.
It was a little funny. I actually kind of laughed once I stopped crying. And now, we're back in bounds!
Hey!
We get a checkpoint! And now we have the comparatively easy task of getting through this plane through that crack.
Oh, that's right. This is the door that breaks, right?
Yep. And I messed this up 3 or 4 times, but I don't care because I got a checkpoint. And also, it doesn't kill me if I don't do it right.
That's fair.
Yeah, you're not getting shot at. There's no timing thing here. You can take your merry sweet time, go back to the checkpoint if you want. I'm still going to lose 90 seconds here, but I don't care. I did the most bananas trick of the game.
Yeah.
First shot.
All right.
And now I'm making this look like this is hard. Right. This is not hard.
No?
No. This is just, this is one of the last tricks I learned how to do. So I didn't put as much time into it as I put into others, so it's a little bit rusty.
Okay.
Also, it doesn't get as much practice because it's right at the end of the run.
That's fair.
So my best individual level time is the first one.
Because you have done that one the most.
Yeah.
I imagine for most people that do the full game, level 1 is probably their best level.
Yeah. Yeah, first couple of levels for sure.
Okay, so now you're trying again?
Yeah, I got my plane stuck in the crack, so I'm just like, all right, bag it. Reverting to checkpoint, running it again. Because there's only 2 minutes left in the level, so I'm still actually saving time at this point, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Damn. So you gotta Just, yeah, really carefully shove your vehicle through this.
Okay.
And there's a... Not very
got
precise.
it.
But
Okay.
Yay! We're through. Only lost like a minute or two.
Okay.
Hitting some invisible checkpoints.
Right, which is why you're flying on the ground.
Yep. And
And kill the guy. So that he doesn't kill you while you do the thingy?
Yes. And now hop back in the plane, go hit another invisible trigger. Because this invisible trigger spawns dudes with guns. So if you try to open that door where there's dudes with guns, you're going to have a bad time.
Oh.
Yeah, now we're getting shot and stuff.
Yep. Dudes with guns. Okay.
Yeah, all this drastically easier. Like, put 10, 15 hours of practice into the, like, fly plane through invisible walls, mostly in the getting into it part.
Oh, yeah?
That like, through the door thing, hour and a half.
Oh. Okay.
Which, now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, that's still a bananas amount of time to practice one trick in a video game. But still, Halo terms, that's cute.
Okay.
By the way, we waited there for those guys to spawn.
Oh?
Because one of the triggers that needs to happen here is at least 5 of those flood thingies need to die. If 5 of those flood thingies in that section don't die, then it breaks the chain.
Okay, so you need to have them spawn so that they can die.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite
Got
the
it.
morbid speedrun, although I guess it is a first-person shooter where basically everyone dies in the game canonically anyway, so...
That's true. Any guys that were on this ring that you didn't die would...
Yeah. Anybody we didn't kill is gonna die anyway, spoiler
And the
alert.
walls are back.
Yeah, walls are back. Once we came
Okay.
back in bounds, we now have walls.
Okay. No more flying through walls.
No more flying
And
through
you're out
walls.
of your plane.
Out of our plane. We're actually using our feet for a substantial
Oh my
portion.
goodness. This is crazy. Why would you use your feet?
Why would you use your feet when you have an airplane that flies through walls? This is just silliness.
Yeah.
And that was the
Yep.
that flashing light was the level's over trigger.
That one's very bright and very obvious.
Yeah. And now this one, we're gonna skip the cutscene at a precise point, right there.
Ah.
And there's only
Why?
so that we manipulate the luck of the game. So the flood right there is a reviver.
Interesting.
Except it doesn't matter because he doesn't follow me this time for some reason. So we have to start over and do it again. But yeah, skip the
Okay.
cutscene there.
Oh my goodness. Are you like counting?
There's a specific... See that little block in the bottom left? When that block intersects with the bottom left corner of the screen, that's when you skip it.
Interesting.
And there's a couple of frames you have to deal with that. So it's like 150 millisecond window to skip it, and that manipulates the luck of the game. So this flood that we're shooting to follow us is a reviver. So he will
Right.
pop back up because we're going to bump through this wall in front of us. So
And you flip to new graphics because...
to look for a specific spot. You can do it in old graphics. A lot of people do. But the spot I learned that works for me just happens to be in new graphics.
Okay.
And now we're through the wall.
And now you're through the wall.
And now there's funny things like, where's the rest of that hallway? And there's still other things because we have broken the game in half. Why aren't these bad guys doing anything? They're just standing there. A couple of these dudes are T-posing right now. Because the game is like, yeah, they don't need AI right now. Because we've just broken the game that much.
Yeah.
But they will come alive.
T-posing?
Yeah, you go like this. Stands up and holds out his arms in a cross position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that
Yeah.
kids are doing. So if we did...
Oh, okay.
If we
Clearly
did-
I'm not up on the hip...
It comes up in video games. For some reason, models spawn in like this. I have no idea why.
models? Okay.
Like character models and stuff.
Right.
Like, for whatever reason,
I mean...
this is just a native thing in video games, is spawning people with their
Why?
arms at 90-degree angles.
No, well, normally when you draw people, you draw them in like a normal standing position.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea
Why
why they
would
do
you
that.
draw them with their arms out? Besides, like, unless you're Leonardo da Vinci. With, like his person with, like, the 6 arms and 6 legs in like, the different positions.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that drawing is why they do that.
They picked the middle one. Let's go with that.
Pillar of honor.
So,
Was that the cutscene that you needed to kill everyone for?
yeah, if you don't
Okay.
take all the guys out, they will kill you here. We throw that grenade, because you notice those bad guys didn't shoot at us really either.
Right,
If
because
they
they were
s-
looking at the grenade.
Yeah, because they were they saw the grenade before they saw us, so they're focused on the grenade, waiting for a checkpoint,
Uh-huh.
and picking up a grenade there, grenading some guys, and now...
Now,
we
is
just-
it possible you would have
dropping down
gotten the checkpoint if you had just run through?
Probably not. I don't know if
Okay.
it's impossible, but it usually doesn't.
Okay.
And you don't lose a ton of time there, but I'm still just like...
What were you doing the very specific spot for?
So I can hug that pillar as I'm going down. I think it slows you down a little bit.
Oh, so you don't take as much damage?
Yeah, because if you just straight jumped off there and you
Mm-hmm.
don't do specific things to make you slow down, you'll probably... You either die or you take a bunch of damage.
Okay.
So, specific spot and also letting my shield recharge.
Right.
And you'll notice, we're back up on time. In the previous
Yeah.
level 2 betrayals, we got about another minute. We're up to almost 3. This one was about even, maybe a second or two either way.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much dead even. So now, we just got to get the last level. Because we're gunning for like under 1 minute 35. Or 1 hour 35. 1 minute 35. We're gunning for under an hour 35.
Someone figures out how to break the game to make an hour and a half run into 1:35.
But you need to
1
have
minute,
a jump
35.
straight to the credits at that point.
Yeah.
Which no one knows how to do in any Halo game.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now we have the last crunch point of the game. This isn't really it. This combat's relatively straightforward. Throw a grenade there to take out the flood. Shoot the rest of the flood. It's not that bad.
Oh, goodness.
And then even this next bit we do, where we're going to use the door to smack us into the ceiling.
Oh, good.
That's
Because
not...
otherwise you'd have to fight all those guys, right?
Yeah, that would not be fun. And also,
No,
we
that
wouldn't be
doesn't
able
look
to
fun.
do the trick we're about to do. Because we need
Oh.
to be in the ceiling for that trick.
Oh, that's important.
So now we're hopping around in
And
the
now
ceiling.
all the bad guys over here haven't spawned yet.
Yep, because guess what? None of the triggers were in the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine not.
So now we're jumping to a specific spot because 90% of the ceiling is not open. Waited for a checkpoint there. And now
You
we're...
got a checkpoint in the ceiling?
We got a checkpoint in the ceiling. I don't know why.
How?
Luck, I guess.
Okay.
Now we're looking at the specific pixel, and we didn't look at the right pixel, so we didn't go.
Aw.
And now we're going to look at a specific pixel, and we have to look at the specific pixel, and then we have to jump, and then 30 milliseconds later, hit another button.
Oh, is this the 30 millisecond one?
Yeah, so this is look at a pixel and hit the very precise timing.
Oh, goodness.
You have to like jump and then start moving forward. And you have to do those two things 30 milliseconds apart.
Oh, okay.
Really tricky.
Okay, so this is now attempt 4 on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They lost a ton of time here.
Oof.
Right at the end. Which, as
Oh,
you can
goodness.
imagine, not great for your heart rate.
No.
So, because this
Just
is...
making sure you got the right pixel.
Yeah, making ultra, super, no backseat sure
Oh,
that you didn't get the
okay.
pixel. So, in case you're wondering, if you get the timing right, you'll teleport.
Oh, yeah,
If you
I got
get the
that.
pixel right, you'll teleport to the right location.
Yeah.
So I guess I should say I'm looking at the right pixel, I think, but I'm not getting the timing right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And is this the one? Is this the one? Nervous firing,
Goodness.
making real sure I'm looking at the right spot. Nope.
Goodness.
I'm
Okay.
getting my head like 12 inches from the screen when I'm lining this thing up.
Oh, goodness.
So, because you got to imagine, I'm like, I just got to do this, and I got the run. I just got to make this happen, and I got the run in the bag.
Yeah.
It's comparatively speaking a cakewalk after this.
Oh, goodness. So how many attempts is this now?
I don't even know. I think we're in double digits.
Okay.
This is also why I'm not doing the beach one. Because you can imagine, this is a lot easier than the beach one, and this is still taking
That's true,
me.
because that one's also a pixel. The new one is also a pixel perfect.
Yeah, and I sunk like a lot of hours into this.
Oh, goodness.
Like I spent like at least 5 hours of practice into this.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah!
There we go. Teleported here. And now we just have to make sure we don't fall through the ceiling at the wrong spot.
Which is why you're jumping.
Yeah, which is why I'm doing all this jumping around. Make sure to load the next part of the level and did a little crouch there. And now we're back in bounds and we're good.
Oh, goodness. And flips the old graphic.
And flip to the old graphics, because when we're out of bounds, you can't really see anything if you're in old graphics.
Right.
So now we're just walking. That's going to be most of the next like minute is just walking.
Is it because you missed a trigger that none of the bad guys spawned?
That's exactly it.
Aha!
And we are going to hit another trigger later, which is going to make bad guys spawn. I'm not going to
Okay.
pretend super well why that's
Why
the case.
suddenly the bad guys are going to spawn?
Yeah, but we're going to walk through this hallway and then we're going to be back basically on normal mode.
Okay.
But we got the big shield, we got a shotgun, there's not that many bad guys to deal with anyway.
Besides that one.
Yeah. we can throw him and then just book it through the hallway, and you'll probably barely get touched here.
Oh, goodness.
So it may look like a lot of guys. This may look tricky. I'm not sure. Does it look tricky?
There's big guys. There's not the little guys that like run around with their arms in the air.
That's true.
So, I mean, they're just kind of cute.
Oh, they're just kind of cute. Yeah. And now we get a rocket launcher.
Oh, goodness. Okay. That's what that big barrel is.
Yeah. Biggest gun in the game, usually reserved for the rocket launcher.
Okay.
Pretty much any video game.
Do rocket launchers like have a uniform look like shotguns or, pistols?
You can usually tell it's a rocket launcher.
Okay.
Quick grenade jump there. It's really not that bad. We've
There's
done
one grenade.
Yeah, this is one grenade.
Not a 5 grenade jump.
Yeah, and we've
My
done
goodness.
several grenade jumps with that exact timing.
Oh, goodness.
And this is just knowing where to go, knowing where to jump. I'm going to pause here because I'm listening for some dialogue to make sure I get the timing of these things opening.
Yeah.
So that you can take them both out, because there's 2 different buttons we hit here, and you need to get them with a specific time and get both of them. Yay! So hit both of them.
And switch off the rocket launcher.
Yeah, because close quarters.
That's important.
And now we're hitting 2 more buttons. There's another one over here, and doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
And
Rocket launcher.
Need to wait for that to open.
1, 2.
And we're good.
Alrighty.
Yay!
And now is this the run part?
Now this is run. We're getting out of here. This should give us a checkpoint in a second.
Checkpoint!
And we just have to clear out this one elevator of bad guys, but we have a rocket launcher. We've got grenades. This is not a big deal.
Okay.
Other people will do some like crazy teleport through the floor nonsense to clear this out. I don't bother with that.
Huh.
I'm throwing grenades. I'm shooting rockets.
This is like the last 5 minutes of the game.
This is the last 5 minutes of the game. This is the last time you're going to need to shoot something, mostly. Like, use all your ammo. You have all of the powerful things. Just don't worry about it.
Okay.
And now we're on the elevator to go get our car to drive out of the ship that's going to explode.
That's good.
It almost feels weird mentioning, like, plot things that are going on right now, because we've,
we just
very sporadically.
Most of it.
Yeah, if you want the plot, we went through the other levels. We'll talk way more about the...
It's true. I learned. I had no idea what the plot of Halo was, and I now have somewhat an idea of what the plot of Halo is.
Yeah, it probably helps seeing the whole thing in one shot, too, I bet.
Not really.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well...
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, it's not a relatively complicated plot anyway.
Yeah.
No. Very much a power fantasy. It's very gratifying. I like a simple power fantasy sometimes, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is a simple story.
Why are you weaving here?
Because it's faster. If you want to go on the sides, they may look open. They're not. You have to go in the middle, which means you need to weave around those pillars.
Okay.
So, so yeah, and now this, if you're the first time playing this game, this looks super tense. They have a timer. They're like, whoa, we have to go almost 2 kilometers at the start.
Yeah.
You were going to say something?
No.
Yeah.
I did say that it was started at like 1.9
Yeah.
kilometers.
That's a fair distance, and it's not a straight shot. And there's bad guys shooting at you, and you're like, are we going to make it?
Yeah.
I've never seen someone not do this on
really?
any difficulty setting.
Okay.
You could be playing on Lasso, and this is basically a cakewalk.
Interesting.
There's like, I don't know, a Lasso, you probably have to hop out and smack somebody at some point. That's about it. This
Okay.
is by far the chillest part of the game.
Okay.
So it's very hard for you to die here. The driving's not that complicated. If you mess something up and flip your car, which is probably going to happen, you only lose like 5-10 seconds. Like, it's really not that bad. There's only one kind of trick. Well, I guess 2 kind of tricks, but neither of them are super, super hard. I only land one of them, so I guess I shouldn't set myself up for failure with that.
Right.
But they don't save you a ton of time, even if you do them.
Okay.
So, overall, we're just kind of chilling here. Like, taking some deep breaths, thinking about, like, making sure I don't mess something up, but still just sort of We did it at this point. Like, I'm looking at the time and I'm like guesstimating how long it's going to take me and what exactly my time is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I guess there's a little bit of tension here.
Because I'm like, is it going to finish in time?
Yeah, because the timer in the game may tell me I have, I think, over 3 minutes at this point. But, like, in my head, I'm like, I need to get under 135.
That was your goal?
That was my goal, was getting under 135.
Yeah.
Hour 35. And I'm like, that's only a minute 30 off.
Yeah?
So
From
this
not making your goal for this one.
Yes.
For everyone that you've done, basically.
Yeah. You got to remember that 100 hours of practice. So in a little bit, I'm feeling those 100 hours here of like, this could be done, or this could be another 100 hours here.
Oh, goodness. Probably not another 100 hours.
Yeah, probably not. I'm like,
probably another 1 to 3.
Yeah.
1.5 to 3.
I appreciate your optimism, but yes. Yeah! And you actually do that's one of the 2 kind of tricks you do here.
Oh?
Is you need to spin your car like that, because
otherwise it'll roll? Or?
Otherwise it could roll. For whatever reason, if it's spinning in a circle, you won't flip over.
Interesting. But because you have a car, you can just drive over the bad guys.
Yeah, don't have to stop for them.
That's pretty good. Oh my goodness, you're 45 seconds off of that goal.
Yeah.
Get through the thing!
Get to the chopper! Or the plane! Longsword. And there is a trick where you can just bust through those barrels.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't hit it, and I'm like, I'm not bothering. We're running. I'm pretty sure I have the time. Let's go.
Oh, goodness.
Come on. Come on. Whew.
Run.
134.33.
Oh, goodness.
And by the way, that is exactly 50th. I was debating to myself, even now watching this cutscene, I'm like, oh, I was also kind of hoping for a 130 flat, just 90 minutes sound nice. And then I went and looked up on the leaderboards, and I'm like, I'm exactly number 50. We're done. For whatever reason, that just seems to me like a blessing on the run.
Okay.
And now we're watching the whole end cutscene, because none of this is timed.
Oh, that's fun.
So I'm like, I think for the timing rules of the community is you need like 5 seconds of ending cutscene, because I think you can actually die or something, and you need to let it go at least 5 seconds to make sure you're not going to die, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it cuts down on cheating. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I couldn't remember the exact rules, so we're doing the whole cutscene. I'm taking no chances.
It's fine. It's nice for the story part of it, since I didn't know the story going in.
Yeah.
That.
Now you get to see.
You saw Sergeant Murphy back there.
Sergeant Murphy?
No, Sergeant who?
Oh, Sergeant Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sergeant Johnson blew up.
Sorry, the book I was reading to the kids has a Sergeant Murphy in it. So.
Oh.
Sergeant whoever.
Sergeant somebody. If you just call him Sergeant or the Sergeant, everyone will know.
Okay, the Sergeant. Got it.
Yeah. Because, spoiler alert, remember that whole, like, they just do things because it's cool?
Yeah.
He's in the next game.
I know. You said that. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And what's funny is there's another cutscene in the game where he dies. Like, in the bit where the flood gets revealed, he dies.
Oh,
he's in the room when the flood get revealed and all of them get taken out. And it's pretty much for sure he's dead.
Yeah.
And now we're good. 100 hours.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of time to show for it. You have a lot of very impressive things.
Yay! Feel good about myself, and I'm like, I'm going to rest on that laurel, and it's why I'm gunning for the middle to like slightly less than the middle for every other thing. These are going to be the highest ranking things that I do, because I'm like, for whatever reason, going from like 40th, 50th percentile to 60th, 70th percentile is 5 times the work.
Oh, goodness.
There's like a logarithmic difficulty curve with these things.
Wow.
So anyway, I guess that wraps up. So thank you all for coming with us on the journey. We're still doing Stardew Valley. I think are coming out, and
there's a few of those coming out.
Going to be doing some reviews of speedrunning as well, where we're going to talk about comparing this to other things. We're going to get rankings. There'll be numbers. It'll be all sorts of fun.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And you're going to watch me torture myself learning one of these tricks.
Super fun.
Yeah, because now that you've seen this and you've seen how many tricks there are, and they'll be like, you spent a half hour doing this, and this was the easy one? Oh. So, be a good continuation on this. So yeah. So have fun with chill Stardew Valley after this. And any final thoughts there,
any bloopers
Mrs.?
that come after that.
Yeah, we could do that.
I know a lot more about Halo now. I
Yep.
knew it was a first person shooter before this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
I knew it was a first person shooter, and now I know a lot more than it's a first person shooter. I know it has humans and aliens and AI, and I know what the Halo is. I know why it's called Halo. That's good.
Yeah. Know some good sci-fi things. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll close with this one last question.
Okay.
Does speedrunning as a concept sound more or less crazy than it did before I did this?
More.
Is more crazy?
Yeah.
You're now even more like,
So,
why
like,
would you do this?
Okay, because the things that I put time into, I'm making something. I have a physical thing to show for it at the end. Like, this is not a physical thing to show.
There is a little bit of a question of sanity. Why are you doing this?
So, like, why are you doing this? Why would you put this much time and effort into something that you don't have a thing to show people? I guess you have a YouTube video now. You have a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people want to watch an 1.5 hour long YouTube video.
of hard as nails, bananas, Halo stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like working on hard things, I guess. Which I don't really know if that makes me any less sane, but...
You did do this after you did the game on Lasso.
Yeah.
You didn't record that, but you did already play the game on Lasso.
Yeah. That's basically how I got to this point. Beat the game on Legendary. Okay, I want something harder. Beat the game on Lasso. Okay, I want something harder. Speedrunning.
Right.
Got to speedrunning and I'm like...
That's sufficiently hard.
Yep, that's hard enough.
Yeah.
This is...
Yeah, you found your level.
Yep.
Yeah, you put a lot less time into the Lasso than you did.
Oh yeah, it was like 20 hours. Which is a lot.
That is a lot, but it's not 100.
Yeah, that's only like halfway through learning the individual levels, much less playing the whole game.
Right.
Oh. So.
Goodness.
So yeah, and we'll probably be doing Lasso or 2 level because that's comparatively easy. Yeah, one more thing. If you really, this is what we'll actually end on.
Okay.
Is if you want to know how absolutely bananas hard this is, if you have any familiarity with Halo, Lasso's like several times harder than playing on Legendary. This is several times harder than playing on Lasso. Like,
all right.
If you were looked at Lasso and were like, that's ridiculous, that got nothing on speedrunning. So.
Good to know.
All right.
Now we know.
Been fun. We'll see y'all next time.
See y'all next time.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
And if you really liked it, please consider supporting our Audible page and other links in the description.